Pearse, I heard your party yesterday calling for a general election. Why is there a need for a general election? It's quite routine for the Dáil to change Taoiseach midstream. It's happened, I think, on at least 7 occasions in the past. Nothing new here, nothing to see here.
Well, it's never happened that we've had 3 Taoiseach in one term.
Yeah, that's because the revolving Taoiseach thing, though. That is unique circumstances.
With respect, you put the question, so I'm just telling you that has never happened. The second thing that's never happened is we've never had a party that has ended up in 3rd position in a general election, that the Taoiseach is going to be somebody that wasn't even standing for that office or putting himself or herself before the people in that capacity. And we're in the 4th year, and the 5th year now, actually, 4 years after the general election of this government, a government, in my view, that has run out of road, a government that the Taoiseach himself has recognised as he's thrown in the towel that he's not up for the job. It is our view that the government isn't up for the job. And if they're confident in their own ability and in their own track record, then let the people have the say. Let the people have the say and let them decide whether the change that they want is a change of Taoiseach or a change of government. And I'm very convinced that it is a change of government that the people want, because they see the record of Fine Gael, and not just Leo Varadkar's record, but Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil's record on housing, on the health crisis, on issues like disability, on the cost of living pressure that people are facing at this point in time. And I am confident if the people have their say that they will not choose, as Fine Gael go into conclave and decide who's going to be the next Taoiseach of the country. I think that they will have a very different opinion in relation to that. And I think we have not interfered from allowing
you talk
about
the party going into conclave. Sure, that's what Sinn Féin do all the time. Sure, Mary Lou there was no leadership election for Gerry Adams. There was no leadership election for Mary Lou McDonald. Micheál O'Neill was picked to be the First Minister. It's a little bit rich for Sinn Féin to talking about party conclaves. So that's your modus operandi.
Not at all. Whoever is the leader of Fine Gael, it doesn't bother me a bit. And how they select their leader doesn't bother me a bit. What does bother me is the highest office in the land, that there's an idea now over the next number of days that a group of Fine Gael senators and TDs that are, in my view, completely out of touch are collectively responsible for what we're seeing in our state every single day. Today we have news.
Sean Lemass, Pearse, can I just you know your political history as well as I do. Sean Lemass, Jack Lynch, Charlie Haughey, Albert Reynolds, John Bruton, Brian Cowen, Leo Varadkar all became Taoiseach in this way. There's nothing new about this.
And I've already pointed this out. This is the 3rd Taoiseach in one term. And tell me which one of them was in a party that didn't win the general election, that actually came 3rd. This Taoiseach that Fine Gael is trying to create with the support
That's how it works, Pearse. That's how democracy works. You don't in a general election vote for the Taoiseach. You vote for the government. The Dáil picks the Taoiseach. That's our constitution. That's how it works.
I understand our constitution. I took Micheál Martin and his government to court under the constitution because they were refusing democracy in Donegal at the time of a by-election, trying to hold on to power. And I won. I beat the government at the time, so I know exactly how governments are elected, how TDs are elected. What I'm saying very clearly, and it is my opinion, and I believe it is the opinion of the wider public, that what we need is a general election. Because what we do not need is just a change of Fine Gael Taoiseach.
Well, you'll have a general election within 11 months anyway. So, I mean, to be fair, you're in the opposition. The opposition don't get to pick the general election date. That's another reality of Irish politics. It's in the hands of the government. They were elected. Like this idea that they don't have a mandate and that people, you don't have a clue if people want a general election or not. Nobody knows that.
Well, first of all, I believe that people do want a general election. I'm very in tune with what is happening in my own community and my own right across the state. And the one demand that we hear over and over again is to get this government out. I don't believe that this is this type of carve up. As I said, I have no interest in how Fine Gael's leader is selected, but I do have an interest in relation to how the Taoiseach is selected. And this will come to a vote before the Dáil. And I do have a vote, and the opposition does have a vote. And what we are saying, particularly to people and the independents who have given support to the Taoiseach, that this is not what we should have. We shouldn't have a 3rd rotating Taoiseach in this term. We shouldn't have a carve-up that is basically decided by Fine Gael, who is going to be the Taoiseach. What we need is a general election. And as I said, if people are convinced of their track record, if people are convinced of the vision that they offer in the future, put it to the people. And that has happened as well.
Okay.
And we've heard Leo Varadkar. Just so let me finish on this here. When Brian Cowen in 2010 appointed his new ministers with the Greens in the autumn of 2010, Leo Varadkar stood up on the floor of the Dáil and demanded that there would be an election. They demanded that they would go to the people and look for a mandate. We are saying the same thing.
Pearse.
If they think that they can get a mandate, then let's let the people decide, because I'm very confident with the leadership
Pearse
we
Doherty.
have, with the vision we have and the policies we have.
Okay, Pearse, we have your point.
Pearse
Pearse Doherty, Deputy Leader of Sinn Féin, thank you for talking to Newstalk Breakfast this morning.